First of all, you're very welcome here to Books Upstairs. We're delighted that you made it on such an inclement afternoon. Clement deficit this afternoon, by the way. We have a great lineup this afternoon. Amy, Maria, Bernedette, a friend of ours, and a great addition as well, another poet, but not reading poetry this afternoon, but playing the harp, Justina. I'm sure you'll all enjoy it, and thanks very much for coming. The poet's works are available downstairs afterwards if anybody would like them. I'm going to hand over now to Bernie, and take it from there, guys, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thanks everyone for coming. Let's start out with a poem called Persuasion. In a Capel Street cafe, painted blue, over yellow teacups, we eat, we drink, we discuss you. And I want to read this for a childhood friend of mine who's very unwell at the moment. The folk. I remember the conkers, shiny and new. I remember the net for tadpoles. I remember the bees in the jam jar, the nature table at school. Most of all, I remember you. And this one's for my aunt, Lord rest her. Pearls. Her pearls next to my skin. The years have robbed them of their scent. I don't want a scraggy neck, she would proclaim. It did not matter to me. I loved her, skin to skin. Her pearls are connection. And this is called He's Married. We always have a chat. He's married. We meet in a crowded room. He's married. I was in his car once. He's married. I met his wife.
She's married.
He's married. Ooh. We have the same disposition. He's married. He is softly spoken. He's married. With a poem called Shoes. The black shoes stood on the shop counter, waiting for a pair of feet, so they could go dancing, so they could be polished lovingly, wrapped in satin like precious gems. Thank you.
I'll start off a poem inspired on the hill of Ushnak. The goddesses at Ushnak. In the sun-shower morning, a chain-link friendship, we wade barefoot, a total immersion, documenting words, fish from Loch Luke, the birth of fertilized lines. The gorgeous Anya flares sun-spangled passion in our spirits. We rapture into a dervish-like dance. Then we listen to her singing, and the violin pause. We, not moving, holding our breath, in the hill of Ushnak, we persist. The next one would be a tribute to my late mother. I remember she struggled to open her eyes, fought her way through delirium, her lips wrinkled like dried dates. Dazed by heavy medication, she slept, then woke confused. Alarm floated in and out of dreams. Her cheekbones protruded her smooth pale face. The smell of urine lingered on her once white dress. She had become nothing but bones and frail misfortune. In a cloudless sky, one winter spring morning, she opened her eyes, her pupils dull. She took my hand, placed it on her breast. She knew, sobbed softly, steadying herself on me. Take good care of yourself. Thinner, smaller, her life force leaving. Silent, I knew I had to let her go. The next one will be One Winter Evening in Dublin. It's called Fairy Tale Dublin. He holds out his hand. On the crossbar of the bicycle, I transform to a child. A moment of ecstasy. Dublin's nightlife explored one winter evening. Blood in my veins, eyes shine. Thrill a journey's vision. The wind intense ripple on cold skin, yet my heart, my soul are impervious. Parnell Street, the Pembroke Road, Christmas like dazzle the city. The spire rises above O'Connell Street. Statues, Jim Larkin, Dan O'Connell, Molly Malone. I gaze, stroll the streets of St. Stephen Green, taking every detail, every sound and smell. Remember it all, for this is real. Delight fills my spirit. Adrenaline surges as my heart vibrates, my mind at peace. A journey that tender night brings me closer to him.
I want to thank Amy Berry, because it is thanks to her that I am here tonight. We are friends since a long time, had many experiences together in different countries, in Italy and Turkey, and so we had the pleasure to have many exchange. And we noticed that there is a particular feeling, a particular empathy. So I was very happy to accept his invitation to be here this afternoon with all of you. Going to read, well, a nightingale. I met a little bird one day, slowly walking in a meadow. His head bent on the grass, lazily chirping. A strange scene, I said to myself, and stayed there curious, looking at him. Both his wings were snapped, and sadly, often he glanced at the sky, where flocks of nightingales were happily flying together, drawing large cycles and spirals. On the background of the light blue, just dyed with white clouds. I approached the bird, picked him up in my hands, talked to him, and said I would have taken care of his broken wings. He should have soon come back to fly. And so I did. So much time has gone by, and I cannot say or how or why, but he is still with me, sweetly singing among the treetops of my garden. Again, it was about noon, and we were sitting in the shadow of the willow tree on the left side of the house. The heat made us talk of the weather, and he asked me of the colors of the leaves, of the morning light in that season of the year, of the sea waves we could faintly hear. And the sun, what about the sun? He asked, fuzzy and blurry his memories for the long time gone by. I patiently offered him details and descriptions of the objects and things that one after the other he mentioned, veiled his voice by a quiet nostalgia. I don't fear death, he said unexpectedly. When I am dead, I will get back to sea again. And now, let me see. A dispute. I have no dresses for me, never go out to breathe fresh air, nor ever meet people, complains one day consciousness. I also want to take my walks and see the sun. I am tired of being silent and be kept locked inside. Quickly man replied, everyone knows you are not used to wear any clothes. Those are just for me. It's up to me to face the seasons. Stay there, do not pretend what it is not for you. Most of the times it's windy or rainy, and even in spring weather can be bad. If you come out, you easily can find yourself in the midst of storms. We can change now subject, theme of a late afternoon. It is a late afternoon. The weather rainy. The windows closed for the wind outside. Thunders shake me from the slumber. The radio is on, playing old songs, while a veil of melancholy sweetly touches my heart. The boredom makes me wander around the lonely house. Listlessly, I sit at the desk, and my gaze falls on the locked drawer on my side. I feel a sudden urge of rummaging inside, where small objects, papers, and old photos are grouped with care. A folded letter is there too, as waiting for someone to look inside. It is a poem, a love poem, a poem of some time before. I read it, and then again, and again, while some tears begin slowly flowing down my face. Had I forgotten him? Thinking of that, I hear our doorbell ringing and quickly wipe my tears and go to open. This is
I'm very proud to have 6 haiku published in Flare 9. So I'd like to read 6 haiku. And the first one is, blowing in the wind for the last time, her washing. Blowing in the wind for the last time, her washing. On the beach, children dance with fireflies. On the beach, children dance with fireflies. Balance impaired, she reaches to kiss his lips, pink roses. Balance impaired, she reaches to kiss his lips, pink roses. Never saw the world from Daddy's shoulders, sister and I. Never saw the world from Daddy's shoulders, sister and I. The weight of the pen in my hand, comfort. The weight of the pen in my hand, comfort. Summer house. Wind chimes welcomes visitors. Summer house. Wind chimes welcomes visitors. Now I'd like to read from Gentle Touch, which I had published all the way back in the 90s. My Dublin town. Yes, I wish the old people were around to see this modern Dublin town. Its shops, its cinemas, clubs, discos, and our buses. And what about all the fussing? Gone are the gentlemen who tip their hats. Gone are the ladies who stop and chat. Gone are those lovely trams, nannies walking babies in their prams. What about those office blocks? Traffic now that's chock-a-block. But walk down Moore Street any day, I'll bet you'll believe what I'm gonna say. Sure, there's nothing like my Dublin town, nor would I leave for £100. Sure, my heart swells with pride as I walk by the quayside, and I feel I'm at home as through Dublin I roam, meeting people I know. Dublin city may have changed, but people and feelings will always remain, and even through the rain, I love my Dublin town. Rainbows. I'm always chasing rainbows. I start out on the road, but I never follow it to the end. I turn back to begin again. I get an idea, but can't follow it through, because my mind is always on you. I have been considering what I should do. Maybe leave this country, start anew. There's too many memories around here, yet there are people I want to be near. I'm still not very clear. Oh, there's another rainbow. Here I go again. Maybe this time I'll follow it to the end. And the title poem of the collection, Gentle Touch. His smile has my thoughts running wild. His hand caressing my cheek, so gentle, so sweet. His eyes beguile. I am under their spell. Into deep pools of blue I fell. And I finish this session with Moon Dreams. Clouds chasing dancing moonbeams call out to play our dreams, to dance with stars that glitter and shine. Saddest of all, they can never be mine. Thank you.
I will read a poem about, you talk about women being assaulted and violently. It's very emotional, this poem for me anyway. Anyway, this is called This Could Be Hell, and this is published in Op-Ed in New York for me. Filth pours out from a man with molecule eyes, his black mouth gaping, a ravenous creature in a trance. He wrenches my headgear, defiling his religion. Howling like an incensed hyena, a woman grabs my head, presses me down. I stumble, crumple on the uneven cement floor. Between the first stride and the second, or maybe the third and the fourth, my head bows on the pavement, sharp point up, pokes, pierces my forehead, storms fiery rivulets cross my cheeks. Praying in every violent second, I stagger in search of sanctuary. This is a voice of the rape victim when she was in the Belfast court. Foul, no sense, disbelief shattered. Disappointment burns her eyes, her brain, but blood rushes through her veins. She wants to thump her fists against their faces. Pain memories, like rough charcoal sketches, numb, reaching out, no hands. I used to love to backpack, so this is my 20s. I backpacked in Nepal, and I saw Mount Everest through my hostel window.
Okay.
So this is what I say, a tribute to Mount Everest. She lives and breathes in the mountains. She touches the sky, holds a crown above her head. Clouds swirl and dance around her, a prodigious sight. Sleep beats against the hostel window. At last, alone I plunge into this backpacking experience. A glimpse of her occurs, a magical joy in my soul. Saga Martha. She hears me say her name and smiles. A beauty of elegance, supremacy, triumph in her eyes. Rejoicing in my spirit, I stand on the hills of Nepal, silent, still, absorbed the unraveled ambience. I saw Jana, it sinks into my soul, cries euphoria in my blood. I hailed those who had scaled her and reached the peak. And also, I like to travel as well. In Paris, I go to a red light area, and this is inspired by that area. It's called the Angels of Pigalle. Men exhale their names, untamed urges fled, uninhibited spirits, fervent musk, melted into heady excitement, promises made in the sweat of the roaring night, decayed dreams, a sniff of music and flesh, fingers trace inch by inch, hips, hands twirl, curled images that went unsaid, the same bodies ended in another. I stood still and listened to their voices, gentle, coaxing. Sometimes I heard them like a child's laugh, teasing and triumphant, crowning some moment of glory. And the last will be, we talk about war, and this is a boy's life in Gaza. It's about a 10-year-old boy, the voice from a 10-year-old boy, a boy's life in Gaza. My life is not supposed to be like this. The airstrike lights up the night sky as bright as day. Mother puts my head in her lap. I feel her stroking my hair. Pain rises in waves crashing into me. My eyes unable to focus. Slowly, words begin to take on discrete sound. Then comes meaning and comprehension. Mother tells me I will be safe. When a person dies, the people cry. I can see mother crying. Dream fragments float past my eyes.
Excellent.
Still, nameless the bodies lined up on the shore, united now in a common fate. Pain grimaces on the bystanders' faces that soon vanish like at dawn, the gloomy colors of night. Men and women in distant lands still will wait for boats. Still they will die along their way towards hope, and the concentration camps are still there, ghostly places where you can still hear the heartbreaking moans. The bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki are not distant memories, and still is in the air the smell of the burned bodies. And you and me still stay blind and deaf in front of the human folly. Altro tema, a different theme, something different. Words like butterflies, I see freely fly, proud of their thousand meanings, aware they seem to be of their might. I would grab them now, my thought, my intimate emotions, carefully to enclose in verses, but spiteful they escape, like air in the end. Quickly they go, sent through our glasses. Patiently, I will wait for them, maybe later tonight. They will no longer have the will from bloom to bloom go. In the silence of my room, the light on, open the window, I will invite them, and with a deep insight, slight, a breath of inspiration, I will pen some lines. It's in the deafening quiet of the late hours that usually they overlap, each of them aspiring to be protagonist. But turned off the light, the window closed, a few stay on my page caged. The others are there outside, gleaming the stars' dust to fill the night air of secret messages, of things unsaid. A rose. How intense the scent of the red rose you brought me last night. You went, it is still here, on the table where your hand laid it. Together with its perfume, yours is there too, and I won't move it from there. April Eve. It is an April Eve evening. The weather mild, the sky full of bright stars. and the moon radiating beams of white light. Scents from the fields come light, stroking my cheeks, enveloping me in a tender embrace. A dog is lonely going, waging its tale. The melody of a song comes from a distant radio. The houses, lights from afar, say of men, of their lives, their loves. The leaves of the old trees are resting tired of the morning bird chirping among the thunder branches. People getting ready to their night dreams, and from the quiet sea glittering at the moonlight, small boats find their way back to the shores. In the silence, whispers of divine words, men one with the art, the waters and the sky, and me one with the universe.
Child at play. Pink tea set bought for me by Uncle Jim. The blue by Mum. Pretend play, fear, the howl of the wind, his key in the lock. And last October my parish church closed down, so it's actually going to be knocked. And I had 40 years of memories in that church. So anyway, I had to write this poem. Annunciation Church. You will always remember seeing that church being built. Our mum told my brother and I as she pushed our baby sister past the building site on the way to school. 40 years later, the shadow of a bulldozer is waiting to rip apart bricks and mortar, shared memories of a community. Careless. Oh, to be carefree again, to be the age of 6, to undo things I have done, to forget some people I have met. No offense. Darkness. He said, stand in the hall. 6 years old, afraid of the dark. Mother in hospital, giving birth to a baby sister. Her crying, shaking her head in answer to blind grandmother's question. Moment's delight. Adrenaline flowing, candlelight glowing. From the stage he descends. His hand extends, her small hand in his, a moment's delight. He noticed her, made her night. Flame dance. I danced around the flame of love that I could not begin. I danced around the flame of love. It laughed and cried, I shall win. I danced around the flame of love till I could dance no more. I danced towards the heart's open door. Love bade me welcome in. And I'd like to read this one from my dad. Remembering you. I saw forget-me-nots peep through the grass. I heard a voice whispering on the breeze ask, please remember me. On the wind's broken sigh, I will, answered I, till the clouds stop rolling by. And I finish with a short poem called October. The past comes back to haunt, the mention of his name a taunt. 11 years since last I looked upon his face, then a fleeting glance in our once familiar place. Thank you for listening.
As most of you know, that I come from the bogland at Lund. So my post office, my local post office was closed recently. So I wrote this poem with, when the rural post office was closed, this is a tribute to my postmaster. It's called Conofolo Post Office. So the last days of Conofolo Post Office. On this autumn morning, Vincent Honey's voice come across the airwaves. The closure of Conofolo Post Office, his 44 years as a postmaster will cease. The Honey family's 60-year link to this rural post office will end. He talks of his days before digital time, as a young telegram boy delivering rushed messages of joy, success, and sorrow, and how he used to dread conveying the bad news. Next day, when I see Vincent, we speak of our common tie, I, the daughter of a postmaster. Vincent stands in the doorway, a tinge of sadness as he sighs. That's life, he says, c'est la vie, Sinead and Sale. The end of an era, but a new chapter pulses. He will farm the land, work the bog, and the urge to travel. Slaty clouds gather. The rain descends as if anticipating the final heartbeat of Conofolo Post Office. This is a poem inspired in the ancient farmlands in Crispiano when I attended the Nerida Award. And I stayed at the Villa Maria. It's called Between Captivity and Villa Maria. On cracked farmlands of ancient olive, pink cactus blossoms preen themselves, exhibit their softwares. Mesarias are hotbeds, and we are expected to play. Drizzle in musical sweat, we dance, swayed by La Tara Magica, We have tasted wine and cheese, tapas like pleasure girls. We prowl the Mediterranean shore, wild and awake. Strangers, almost lovers, on neutral ground. Sometimes we forget our vows, lovesick and never freed. We speak about mental health, mental problems, and this is revisiting St. Norman's Hospital in Mullingar. Memory expands, frame after frame, unstoppable. Behind bolted doors of grey, sitting on a cracked floor with bended knees, pleading for understanding. Hell cursed like a vulgar visitor with bad breath. Voices came at times so inspiring. Lyrics poured out like maple igniting the room. Ungraspable, sometimes. Drunk with weakness, I wish to grow even weaker. I wish to fall lower than down. Do I belong here? Mother of those strange ideas that I should be here. Buried anger storms silently, then disappears. This is about the tsunami, the Japanese disaster in 2011, the concertum. Quivering fear and dread of another, all were listening to the voices on the radio. Children, families stared at the sky darkened to the same grey as the ancient seas. They couldn't tell where it all began or ended. The village elders met in silence. Smoke from joysticks veiled their ancient faces, now without colour, rocking back and forth, their lips moving, supplicating, sunken eyes inscrutable. They shook their heads disconsolate, searched the grave for answers. A tribute to my late father, the saint of my father. Death is a cruel taunt. I used to huddle snug beside him as he slept. Remember how he used to chase me to the water's edge, frolic in the waves. I got silly butterflies when he caught me, lifting me high and clear. Always a special necktie to try with his favorite shirt, dabbing cologne on his skin and clothes. He looked in front of the mirror. Do I look okay? When I stood eye level, he was grey and bald, hearing not as sharp as it once was, but he heard me speak to his doctor. I dreamt of your mother last night. He fell silent for a long moment and gazed at the rain-threatened twilight. We spoke no other word.
It was dawn. I decided to go at last, to get out from that house which had been for so long mine. Heavy and grim the atmosphere, divergences and aloofness, great like mountains. Never a word of love, never a smile, but silences. The only deliverance from the everlasting oppression to run quickly away. And the day came. It was dawn. the first daylight peeping from the horizon, and aimless I closed behind me the door. Only a lean cat in the avenue, and just some street lights still lightening the houses. Inside me a faint hope to hear a familiar voice crying out my name. Not far the sea and its wave rhythmically breaking against the rocks. I found myself there, shivering with cold, yet could clearly hear, coming from the deep waters, a caressing voice, and I let me go to its inviting call. My heart stopped beating, my lungs breathing, and I could see shortly after some passers-by looking at my lifeless body, and from a distance hear their voices whisper, a drowned man, a drowned man. Well, I'd like to read this before. Souls, emissions of divine breath, leave our souls their wings to wear terrestrial dresses. Joys and pains wait for them down here, chasing each other as the sea waves at the moonlight or under starless skies, fuel the dawns and sunsets, and obscure the path to reach truth and knowledge. Martyrs of human foolishness, light lamps and candles to show the way to the Pakistani children, so they can fly to the heaven as a flock of birds gather around their mothers to share their pains and sorrows. They will keep close till the end of their days, bent on their homes, once shelters of the tender lives. The sky darkened, women and men on earth, in holy silence for the massacre and horror, could sense the fear of the little martyrs, of the human foolishness, hear the cries, imagine the violated bodies, the tears of their mothers, their eternal mourning, in the name of a God nobody knows, in the name of hate and revenge. The angels, vigorously flapping their wings in disapproval, ask men to join and shout loud their outrage and indignation. May the sky open, move the mountains, open the oceans, fall the rain in torrents, ring the bells from everywhere to awaken men to peace and brotherhood. Write for me. Write for me a love poem. When the moon her maids calls to stud, with shining pearls the dark dome. Write for me a love poem when the winds gently move the treetops, playing romantic serenades. Write for me words of love when the waves, like joyful children, each other chase, and at the first lights of dawn whisper to the finches and sparrows your most beautiful rhymes of love. Like messengers, they will come to my window, singing their songs to tell me of you. Collect for me the most sweet words of love when the morning dew gently awaken with its light touch, the still drowsy flowers in the endless fields, and still light for me words of love when the sky on the horizon in its endless embrace the sea kisses. I think this. I know I have to read 4 poems. Now I don't remember if I I will find something else. Falling drops. Well, a rainy summer morning, so unusual here. And me, rainy, because I told you this morning that we left sunny days in Italy, and we find a very great difference as the climate. Okay, I'm sorry. Falling drops, a rainy summer morning, so unusually here. And me at the window, looking at the falling drops, beating on the roofs of a still sleeping town. Only few people down in the street. With me my thoughts I so often keep, as in a well-closed cage, toward the sway over them. But unruly they go, on their own now. Freely, more than the winds, I can see them go afar as feeders filling the air with imaginary figures, happily whirring for their conquered freedom. And hear them cry loud, asking emotions and feelings to come they too to the open. Get yourself free, they say, and fly out, with us. And I stay silently watching while my face opens up to a smile. I am sure now they are full.
Okay. Over here. If that's okay. Ah, yes, two of you. I want to be in the middle. Is that okay? I want to be in the middle. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Will you come up then and I get one? Brady, will you take me one with Rachel there? Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Brady. What are you getting with me? You don't want to get in with me now. They're just later taking them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see who's behind you?
I know, she's staying behind me. She's a go behind me. Can I get a photograph with you?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, okay, will you take
I'm
that?
going to play one song, a new song.
Yeah, yeah, well, you do this and get it on, okay?
You're beautiful.
Thanks very much. It was me you were talking to, I hope. Yeah. You are a better look there now. Thanks, Brady.
Yeah, you're welcome. Are you okay?
I think so.
Justina is doing her own composition, and I will accompany with a poem. Affliction. Incense flames flicker, an aching stillness hangs. She longs to be elsewhere. Warm breath creeps, intoxicated like the first time she danced with a lover across the scarfed wooden floor. Sweat on brow, feverish perfume, passion. Fingers trace as if unsure. Storm toss she spilled. A promise to the night she arrives. The flower duet ends. But memories linger like watchful ghosts. That's our own
Actually, all of them are my own compositions.
Thank you.
No one cares. I watch the moon reflecting on the lake. Its shimmering silverness reflects my face. The stars twinkle in a black velvet sky. All this beauty makes me cry. I see two lovers walking hand in hand across the golden sand. They stop to share a kiss. They're so happy. I know now what I miss. Someone to hold my hand. Someone who understands. Someone who is always there. In short, someone who cares. I turn to go on my weary way. I think of the loneliness of today. I walk on and start to cry. No one cares if I live or die. Thank you.
This is a poem inspired by Leonard Cohen. The scent of her. The smell of apple blossom wrapped my senses, collected around my heart like delicate cobweb designs in the rain, defying heated stares, shock whispers. I would have cradled her tight in my arms, in the streets or in a crowded restaurant, the way I would have as a young man. I would not have minded that she was married. I would have kissed hard her plum reddened lips. I would have made love to her had she said she loved me. Classics translated. Make music like an angel, turn eyes to flame, made her a wonder. Had I been that man as a young man, but I am no longer he. Thank you.
darkness and light. The full moon, through the open window in the darkness of my room, has drawn a white beam of light tonight. That light ray, coming from so far away, like an open eye, allows me to see just some of the familiar objects since long there. All the others stay unseen, unreachable, well as when I try to perceive the hidden emotions in the hearts of the people around, or going through the world, and scrutinize with my inner eye their souls, to understand the reasons of their certainties and fears, so well concealed in the hazy caves of their hearts, but just some grains of truth I can seize, like distant planets in the cosmic voids, the emotions of their souls. Great the ambition to probe the unfathomable, slight the chance to cover the long distance.
So this is the only piece I'm performing tonight that I haven't written.
Now, we'd like to thank you everyone for being here.
Yes, sure.
And thank you to Maurice for hosting us. And a big thank you for Justina for entertaining her with lovely music. Thank you, everyone. That's it. Thank you.
What to add, each of us knows that poetry is only for a few people. We usually say for an elite of people. So we thank you so much, because I know through what Amy told me that some of you have come from far away.
From Limerick, from
by train,
Kerry, from everywhere.
by
So
car.
we're very happy. And thank you.
You are not, each of you lives in Dublin. So it has been a big a short problem, a small problem for you to come, and we thank you for that.
Thank you.